Welcome to Love in Life, a guide to a positive mindset. My aim is to show you that the key to a happier and more positive mind is to love the life you have. We will look at tips and tools you can use to improve your mindset, and the best thing is, we'll all be on this journey together. Hello everyone, welcome to episode 6. We are in the first week of August. It's currently the 2nd of August as I'm recording. I've just come back from a lovely weekend of camping with my husband and the boys and the dogs, obviously, who are with me, FYI. And it's just been, we've had perfect weather. We've had some really lovely, done some really lovely activities. The boys did kayaking. We went to the beach. So yeah, we've done some really lovely things this weekend. So we are all really high vibe here in this house. So this week I'm going to be talking to you about manifesting, because I know a lot of people have a lot of questions about manifesting. So I think probably the best thing for me to do is tell you what I have manifested and how I believe I've done that. And go over some different ways that you can try manifesting. So what is manifesting? The word manifestation literally means to create or turn something from an idea into a reality. So it basically means to make something happen. You turn a thought into a reality. So I'm going to start off by telling you some of the things that I have manifested. So things that I've started, like I said, things that have started from a thought and they've manifested into reality. So there's a few things that I believe I've manifested intentionally, where I have, gone out with that intention to manifest something. And then there's also things that I've manifested unintentionally. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. So I'll start off with the things that I have intentionally manifested. And I know I talked to you about this a few weeks ago, but selling our house was one of them. So the last house that we lived in, it was in a very desirable area, and we had the estate agents around to value it. And when they came out, they told us that our house would, it'd be sensible to put it on at, I can't remember what price they said now, but it's probably not even relevant now anyway, because that was over 2 years ago. So they told us to put it on at a certain value in between this range and this range. And we thought, no, our house is worth more than that. So I think we put it on for, I think we agreed between Craig and I, we put it on for like 15 grand more than what they recommended. So they were like, yeah, okay, we'll give it a go. And as you know, as I've told you before, we then managed to, not only did we sell it really quickly, and that is a trend that is happening here in the UK at the moment. The housing market is moving so fast, which is pushing prices up as well. But we sold it really quickly. And at that time, I was trying to manifest an extra 10 grand into my life, which I didn't necessarily know or have any idea of how I wanted that to manifest, but that was what I was visualizing, was just 10 grand. So we sold our house quickly, and we actually had £10,000 over the asking price. So not only did we put it on for 15 grand more than what the estate agents recommended, we also made an extra £10,000 on top of that. So make of that what you will. The moving in date, as you know, I talked about this before as well. I had a specific date I had in mind that I wanted to move by. But because I had that date in my head, that was like my absolute last date that I wanted to move in. That was obviously the date that we moved in. So I guess that was intentional, but unintentional at the same time. I didn't mean to manifest us moving on that date, because believe me, it was bloody stressful. The last working day before Christmas, yeah, what was I thinking? But anyway, that I manifested at least moving in before Christmas anyway, which was the main thing. Excuse my phone vibrated in the background. I'm obviously very popular. That was a joke, by the way. Hopefully you get my sarcasm. Another thing I've manifested not so long ago is our Tesla that we drive. So this was something that was really quite big for me last year, and I focused on this probably from about, I don't know, last summer. So say a year ago from today. Something that I really focused on, and I'll tell you how I did this later on in the episode, but it was something that, so I don't know, about 3 years ago, we, as a family, we hired a Tesla. It was a Model X, and oh God, ever since then, like me and the boys and Craig as well, we've all been obsessed with Teslas. Like, honestly, if you've never driven one, they are amazing. And the technology that is constantly being updated all the time, it is just, you know, next generation, to be honest with you. There's nothing else like it out there on the market. If you're thinking of getting a Tesla, then I would highly, highly recommend them. They're just so easy to charge. Oh God, this is turning into a bit of a Tesla sales page now, but no, I really do highly recommend them. And more recently, I manifested the arrival of my son's passport, as you well know. So that was a really successful manifestation. Unintentional things that I've manifested. So before I even knew what the law of attraction even was, years ago, I manifested the sex of my first child. It was really strange because I always had a feeling like I always wanted a boy. Before, I just always imagined myself having a boy. And I guess obviously that's where visualization comes from. It's from your imagination. So I always imagined having a boy. And I literally told everybody we didn't have any tests or anything like that to see, when you have the scan to see the sex of the child. I didn't have any of that. I didn't want to know, but I just knew it was a boy. Like, I was telling everybody that we're having a boy. I just knew, and to this, I think I would have felt ridiculous if it came out and it was a girl. I just knew it was a boy. Obviously, I would have been happy, I'm sure, if it was a girl, but a boy is what I really wanted, and a boy is what I knew I was having, like deep down inside. You know, when you just get that hunch. I don't know if that's. I know they call it intuition. I don't know if that's just mother's intuition. I don't know. But I definitely feel that I manifested that when I started learning a bit more about visualization and manifestation. I definitely feel that I did manifest that without realizing. I also feel that I manifested a pay rise for my husband last year. I'm one of those people that is really good at manifesting things for other people. Good things, I might like to add. But yeah, I felt like he really deserved a pay rise. Sorry if I hit the microphone then. I shouldn't apologise. Somebody pointed out to me that I apologise a lot. So I'm going to try and stop saying sorry so much. I don't mean sorry as in, oh, please forgive me. I don't know, it's natural for me to say sorry. So sorry. So I do believe that I manifested a pay rise for him. It just came out of the blue. He'd had a really crap year in 2020, as did we all. But he didn't stop trying, and all of a sudden his efforts started paying off, and then his boss just turned around to him and offered him a pay rise. Like, obviously he wasn't going to say no to that, but it wasn't expected, you know. I've manifested seeing somebody who I really didn't want to see. So I'm not going to go into detail, but somebody who my friendship with them didn't end well. And I was in a place where it reminded me of that person, and I started thinking about them. And later on that day, would you believe it, I bumped into them. So yeah, that was 100% unintentional. But as soon as it happened, I was like, God, I totally manifested that. And lastly, the last thing I've got on my list of unintentional manifestations is a rat that we saw. Really random, I know, but when we went to Scotland, which we drove up to in our Tesla, amazing, by the way, if no one's ever driven up to Scotland, it was amazing. But we stopped off halfway because it's obviously it's a really long distance from the southwest up to Scotland. So we stopped overnight in a Travelodge, and the Travelodge had a Burger King and a Greggs there, I think it was. And I was like, oh God, this is like got rats written all over it, hasn't it? And I literally visualized a rat, and then would you believe it? We got all our things out of the car and then walked to the front, the reception of the hotel, if you can call it that. Sorry, Travelodge. Walked to the front of the Travelodge, and halfway between the car and the entrance was this rat, and it looked really sad actually. Obviously, you can tell I'm vegan. I felt really sorry for him, but he just looked so sad, like he'd been, overdosed on poison, basically. But there was no helping him at that point. But yeah, I think that was the first time I've ever seen a rat in like broad daylight, just really brazen. And it's weird because when we drove to the parking space, he wasn't there then. It was only when we were walking from the car into the Travelodge, and yeah, bless him. So yeah, there's my list of manifestations, intentional and unintentional. Now, how did I manifest those things? So my most successful way to manifest something is through visualization, and I'm really lucky because I'm a really visual person anyway. So I can really easily just shut my eyes and imagine that I'm doing something, that I want to be doing, and really feel the emotions that I would be feeling if I was actually doing that. I just find that is my easiest way of doing it, but I know we're all different. So there's a few ways that you can set yourself up for visualizing. As I know I've talked about before, I think when I told you the post office story, I actually visualised that with my eyes open. I promise I wasn't driving with my eyes shut. So yeah, I always feel like I visualise with my eyes shut, but obviously I don't. But I do think that, that is when I set myself up for the best outcome. And the best possible outcomes is when I intentionally close my eyes and take time to myself. So sometimes I'll do this through meditation. I think I will do a separate podcast episode on meditation, because that is something I'd like to look more into myself, to be honest. I have my way of doing it, but I know there's lots of people who do different ways of meditation. So but I do use meditation for visualizing, and I have had, I think since January, I've had a vision board on my screensaver on my phone. So if I click the side on my phone now, I really need to update this actually, because the Tesla's still on there, and there's certain other things as well that I have achieved, and I need to make space for new ones really. But yeah, I have set up my own vision board, which obviously it's best that if you're going to do a vision board, it's best that you put it somewhere where you're going to see it, and I think subconsciously see it as well. So you don't necessarily intentionally look at your vision board, but if it's on your screensaver, for example, if it's on your phone, how many times a day do we pick up our phone? And I don't obviously pay attention to it all the time, but all these things like the Tesla, I wanted to, take care of myself a bit more self-care. So I've got a picture of somebody's nails being painted. I haven't achieved that yet, to be honest with you, because I broke my hand, and my hand care has gone downhill quite dramatically, sadly. Again, that's another story. I've got a picture of a family hiking. I've got a picture of a family on a beach, which obviously we're going to be doing in a couple of weeks' time. A picture of, I guess you would call it fine dining, but really what I mean by that is just eating out more and going out for more husband and wife dates, I think, and growing your business, all things like that I really want to focus on. They are all on my vision board, which I put on my phone. So I'm constantly being reminded subconsciously of the things that I want. So that's visualization. Let me know, by the way, if you want me to do an episode on vision boards. If you're unsure of how to make one or how to make the most of having one, please let me know and I will do an episode on this. So another good way to manifest is by using affirmations. So these are statements about yourself or about something in your life that you would like to become. And how can I explain it? So it's best to use a statement that is in the present tense. So if you use something in the future tense, like I will be a size 8, then it will always stay in the future. So my affirmation that I use for my body image, shall we say, is I have a happy, healthy, slender body. And that was something I learned from Louise Hay, actually. It's not just focusing on how your body looks. It's about the overall health of your body as well. It's appreciating the overall health of your body. That makes you love it. So sorry that I went off on one there. And I said sorry again. Naughty me. So affirmations. I literally write my affirmations out every day. And I think it's really important to make sure that they're specific to you. Everybody is going to have different affirmations. But I do write them out every single morning and I say them out loud. And, this is a good example of how things work well together. But when I'm reciting my affirmations, I also visualize myself doing these things or having these things, So one of my affirmations that I used from September last year up until when we had our car in March was we drive a Tesla, which we park on our front drive. And we've got the Tesla. We haven't got the front driveway yet. We still are yet to make our front garden into a driveway, but I'm halfway there. I've got the most important part. It's just obviously we'd like the front driveway to be done so we can actually park it outside our house and charge it. So you can find some really powerful affirmations online. I know YouTube, there are loads of YouTube videos on affirmations. If, say, for example, you just generally want more self-confidence or more self-love, there are some really powerful affirmations that you can find that you would just repeat after hearing them. Or if there's something specific that you want to manifest, then you can write your own, obviously. So as I said, it's really important that you write these or say these in the present tense. And they must be, when you recite them, but you must recite them with feeling. So really feel the emotion you would feel when you've already achieved that achievement or that, got to where you want to be. So I know I said to you last week that Lady Gaga quite famously used affirmations, which she believes led her to her success, or certainly is a big part of her success. And her affirmations that she recited daily, is: music is my life. The fame is inside of me. I am going to make a #1 record with #1 hits. And you just repeat that over and over again, so it becomes like a mantra. But you can see how Lady Gaga uses present tense. Music is my life. The fame is inside of me. I am going to make a #1 record. I guess that is in the future, but hey, she did it. You couldn't get any more famous than Lady Gaga right now, could you? But the key is to really believe that it's already achieved. And there really are no limits to how often you recite your affirmations or your mantras. The more the better, really. I did start, I think last year I was doing mine in the morning and at lunchtime every single day without fail, but I feel like I got a little bit obsessed with them, to be honest. Sorry if you can hear Hugo's weird noises that he's making. There we go. I feel like I was getting a little bit obsessed, and I needed to take a bit of a breather and just ease off a little bit. And I went back to, I think I probably had a couple of days break from affirmations, and went back to just writing them out and reciting them every morning. And I do that, and then I leave it there. I don't keep going over anymore. But, like I said, everybody's got to do what they feel. If you feel that you're putting too much energy into it, which I know I've talked about before, I personally feel that sometimes if I put too much energy into wanting something, it slows the process down, to be honest. Sometimes you just have to sit back and know that you've put your desires out there to the universe, and sometimes you just have to sit back and let the universe decide when is the best time. And I think it's when you let go and accept that the universe is in control of this, I think that's when it happens. So yeah, there we go. That was going to be one of my tips at the end, but there we go. So another way that we can use, that we can manifest, is by using crystals. Now, this is something that I've recently got into. I can't say I'm an expert on it, if I'm honest with you, but it's something I've recently got into, and I have done a little course on it as well. I'm actually a certified crystal and energy healer. There you go. Bet you didn't know that about me. So crystals, as do everything else in this universe, as I discussed last week, crystals all vibrate at different frequencies. Some of them, in fact, amethyst, I think, vibrates at something crazy like 32,000 hertz, whereas the Earth vibrates at something like 7.8 hertz, and we as humans on average vibrate at 7.5, I think it is. So not only can we use crystals to manifest, but we can also use crystals to increase our vibration, because as I said last week, all energy is exchangeable, so we can use some of this energy from crystals and it transfers into us. But I'm not going to go too much into that now, because I do want to do a crystal episode. I might even get somebody on to talk with me about that. So if you're interested and you're into crystals, then please let me know if you'd like to join in on that. So for manifesting, crystals can be really useful. So if, for example, you are trying to manifest love, say you're trying to manifest a new romantic partner, rose quartz is an amazing crystal that can be used in conjunction with other things that you're doing to help you find a new partner. So you can use this whilst meditating. So when you're trying to manifest your new partner through meditation, if you hold a rose quartz in your hand, or even better, near your heart, then it's believed that this can help speed up the process. You can also use it to better your existing relationship. So if you're already in a romantic relationship with somebody, there's always room for improvement, in my opinion. Nobody's ever perfect. No relationship is ever perfect, mine included. In fact, rose quartz is one of my favourite crystals to use. I sleep with it under my pillow every single night. So it also helps me relax my shoulders. Anyway, I'm going off on one here. We're not talking about manifesting now. The important thing is to do research into what crystals are good for manifesting specific things. So another example is if you're trying to manifest success or finances, then citrine is a good one to use to help alongside. I just want to point out that they're not a magic wand. They're not going to instantly change things for you overnight, but it can help alongside the other ways that you're trying to manifest things. So, it's like we discussed a few weeks ago. It's about setting intentions and taking inspired action, which actually leads me nicely onto my next way to manifest, which is planning. So I know this sounds a little bit obvious actually, but take time to plan what it is you want to achieve and have an end result in mind. So it's really important to write down achievable goals and work out ways that you can get there. So again, going back to taking inspired action. So by writing it down, I love writing things down because, not only can you go back and, in 6 months' time, and when you've achieved something, you think, bloody hell, I forgot I wanted to do that 6 months ago. That's amazing. And it just helps remind you that you've actually manifested. But it also helps you affirm things more strongly to yourself, and it actually helps you focus. And one of my tips was going to be not to focus on too many different things at once. So it's really not a good idea to try and manifest things from all different areas of your life all at one time. It's okay to set goals, but don't try to intentionally manifest things all together, because you're just putting wasting a lot of your energy, rather than putting all your energy into each specific thing at one time, if you know what I mean. Now, I know I did say earlier about putting too much energy into it, but you don't want to mix your energy into lots of different areas. Otherwise, you're going to struggle to manifest anything. So there we go. That's my 4 favourite ways of manifesting. So we have visualization, whether it's through meditation, vision boards, affirmations. And I forgot to say that by reciting your affirmations every single day and believing them, that is how you change your inner reality, and that is how they manifest. Using crystals and also using planning to work out your inspired action that you're going to take. So, you can use all of these 4 things together. They all work really well together. But I cannot end this episode without mentioning my favourite, gratitude. You know how I feel about gratitude, writing a gratitude list. I will say that being in a state of gratitude instantly connects you with positive vibes. If you're in a state of gratitude, then you're already on a high vibration. So you are going to attract those high vibration events and experiences that we have discussed. So make sure before you do any of these things, try and get yourself into a state of gratitude. So just quickly, my morning routine consists of waking up, making a cup of tea, writing a gratitude list, and I write 3 things every day, and then I write out my affirmations and my goals and recite them out loud. And then I might do a bit of meditation. And then I read for at least, say, 15, 20 minutes at least. So that is my morning routine, which I'm going to go into in a bit more detail on another episode. I've told you a lot of what I'm going to do in future episodes, so hopefully that entices you to come back. So just a few tips on manifesting. Some things that I just want to remind you. So constantly remind yourself of your goals. So obviously earlier we talked about vision boards. They are a way to constantly remind yourself of your goals. And I do strongly suggest that you make a screensaver, make one as your screensaver, and you're looking at it however many, we all look at our phones umpteen times a day. So that's how often you're seeing your little reminder. Finish tasks that can help you achieve your goals. So for me, one of the things I'm always trying to manifest is transforming my house into my dream house. Like, it already is my dream house because I know that what the end result is going to be because I can visualize it. But something that's really important for me is to finish tasks. So I don't know whatever anybody else is like, but I'm a nightmare for starting things off and then getting so excited and not finishing off one job before I move on to the other. So my decorating, for example, I decorated the front room last year and I didn't finish off the skirting boards, which is really, really stupid. I'm just starting to go back and do them now. So my promise to myself now is to finish each room before I start off on the next one. And that takes a lot from me because I just get so excited that I want to move on to the next. But it's really important that I do that. Otherwise, it's not going to be my dream house. If I can spot flaws in it all the time, it's not going to be my dream house and I'm not going to be on that high vibration. What's my next tip? Don't waste precious energy doing too many things at once, which I've already discussed. Act, don't procrastinate. So this, again, is another big problem for me. Because I have so many ideas going on all the time, I can never choose which one to do first, which is another reason why I start one thing and then carry on to another. But it also means that I put off doing things because I'm constantly questioning which one should I do. So sometimes you need to, again, this is a good way to use meditation and come up with some inspired action. Like sometimes by meditating, we're given a sign, or sometimes a thought just comes to you, just pops into your head. And it's only when you're in times of quiet mind and when you've decluttered that these ideas can come to you. So that's why it's really important to meditate as well. So something I want to leave you with today is a statement that I hear used quite a lot in the last, year or so. And that is that we all have the same amount of hours in the day as Beyonce. Now, some people disagree with this, and I know that Molly May got into quite a lot of she had quite a lot of backlash for saying this in her interview with Stephen Bartlett recently. But how does this make you feel? We all have the same amount of hours in the day as Beyonce. Even if you take Beyonce out of that, we all have the same amount of hours in the day. So what you do with those hours, those minutes, it's down to you. Put Beyonce back into the equation. Yes, she has makeup artists, she has cleaners, she has nannies. But do you think she had all that, when she first started out with Destiny's Child? She started off with a vision, with a dream that turned into reality over many, many years. But she has now created her dream life because of all the hard work that she's put into it. So that's where I'm leaving it this week. I'd love to know your thoughts on that. And I'd love to know what kind of life you would love to manifest. Please let me know. As usual, you can contact me via my Instagram page and my Facebook group, which you can obviously find the link to those in the show notes. But other than that, I wish you a great week and I'll see you again next week. Bye.